Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog Podcast. Okay, so a couple of things. First off, this is a car cast, so please forgive any of that exciting rumbling noise in the background. More importantly, I just wanted to have a bit of a chat with you. The recorder's strapped up as always, and I just wanted to, chat, which is fine. Okay, so this last few months has been a bit tricky, and it's Christmas. And I hope you all had a lovely Christmas and New Year. Okay, here we go. Were you involved in a TV program that finished early? Were you hooked and then tricked by a cliffhanger that made you really annoyed? Well, you're not alone. And to that end, I didn't watch Stranger Things because I got sick, absolutely sick, to the back teeth of TV programs going, here you go, here's a story, oh, is it going to finish, oh, yeah. And you know what, we could sit here for hours upon hours listing all of the programs that just finished abruptly, or never, characters never got home, or whatever. Everybody 5 years ago was really into Stranger Things. In fact, possibly longer. And I, at the time, was just sick to the back teeth of getting involved in something, getting really into something, and then going, oh no. Now, when it first started, we couldn't even watch it as a family because my daughter was far too young. And the last thing you want to do as a parent is have a kid have nightmares. It's not that you're being overly cautious, it's just there's a hell of a lot of work involved if a kid's got night terrors. But, let's face it, the kid is a daughter of mine and my wife's, so they're going to be fairly resilient when it comes to fairly, obscure and weird TV shows. Also, we've brought her up on a steady diet of 1980s music. So, Stranger Things, because it finishes in the next week or so. In fact, as I record this, I think the last ever 4 episodes, or is it 5, are being broadcast, and I say broadcast, they're being uploaded to the server at Netflix, I think New Year's Day. Okay? So it's done. It's all over. There's nothing else to do. It's finished. There are 5 seasons of between 8 and 9 episodes per season. And me and my wife went, right, it's time, let's finally watch it. I think we'd tried watching episode 1 at a time when we just weren't in the mood. So we both together went, right, let's watch it, but let's watch it once it's all done. And to be fair, there was so much other stuff to watch on TV, then you just let it go. But there's been a lot of advertising lately, and we went, right, yep, let's definitely go for it. So, over the Christmas period, we started watching season 1. Now, originally my intention was to go, hey, it's all new to me, because we could do a whole new to me podcast. Yeah. So we'd be able to talk about it all, 1 episode at a time, except it's one of those things where you just go, we'll just watch another one. We'll just watch another one. And before you know it, an entire season's flown by in the period of about 3 or 4 days. Yes, I know I was being all precious about the war between the land and the sea being shown 1 week at a time. But this is new to me. I can watch these in any order I want. And watching all things in one go, really, let's face it, it's not new to me, that at all. We had things like VHS releases of entire Doctor Who stories, which of course you'd watch all in one go. Or at least 1 tape at a time, or an hour and a half, or a couple of episodes. You'd very, very rarely watch just one, eke it out, and watch another one, and eke it out, because you wanted to savour it. And of course, this has got a mystery to it, and I just wanted to enjoy it. What I wasn't prepared for was just how much of a homage to the 1980s films that I absolutely bloody loved was. Right? So, if you'll indulge me while I talk about from memory without the aid of any notes, because let's face it, although the microphone's strapped up, I'm still talking directly to you. So bear with me if I ramble at all. Because I don't know what happens in seasons 2, 3, 4 or 5 at all. And let's face it, when season 1 was out, it could have just been the only thing. If it wasn't a success, it would have literally just been a single one-off run of 8. And you know what? That would have been fine. It's a decent, self-contained story with a bit of a, ending. But let's face it, even the Elm Street films all finished like that. They were like, oh, we've defeated the baddie. Here's something a bit weird to finish on. From the 80s. Okay. So, as always, there's reasons for stuff to take place in the past. And it's not just nostalgia. It's usually the removal of mobile phones. That is the reason that there's going to be a line. Now, perhaps there should be some sort of word or phrase, like jump the shark. That means, and you can't just go pre-phone, no, or pre-cellular, to describe a narrative that would be absolutely ruined by the addition of mobile phones. For example, Blair Witch Project. Hello, we're lost in the forest. Are you? We'll come and get you. Can you just drop a pin so we can come and find you? Yeah, I can. Thanks very much. My good lord, the reception on this is amazing. Yes, I know, thanks. We're with EEE or Orange or whatever you want to be, okay? So there needs to be a word or a phrase. Now, if you've got one, or the one already exists and I just missed the memo, which, does happen a lot, feel free to put it in the show notes or email me or do Blue Sky or whatever you want to do just to tell me what that might be. So, story set in the past for mobile phone removal, because let's face it, radios are a big part of this narrative. And of course, you've also got that love letter to films like, well, okay, so let's face it, this movie, this series is a love letter to the 80s and 80s TV. You could sit here for hours listing all of the Easter eggs or influences, but obviously the main influences are the two Stephen King stories, Firestarter and to a certain extent The Dead Zone. Okay, Firestarter is, through this show's DNA, like a stick of rock. You've got the MK Ultra LSD experiments on pregnant people. You've got women, okay, and then you've got, the father involved in the Firestarter story. You've also got, person in the shed, which is lots of ET suggestions. You've got the government vans. You've got the cover-ups. You've got, but Firestarter is at its core what this film is. The only thing is that in Firestarter they're on the run from the police. Well, when I say police, they're on the run from the CIA authorities and MK Ultra. And in this, they had the child all along. Okay? So we get that narrative story. But we've also got the multi-dimensional aspects where because there's a line in Firestarter where it says, well, once she reaches puberty, she could crack a hole in the earth. Well, this just cracks a hole in dimensions. But then, of course, you've got your Lovecraftian stuff with multi-dimensions. You've got there's so many other things. But like Doctor Who, or especially, Big Finish Doctor Who, if you take enough influences from other sources and give them the nod going, look, I've done this, and put enough new stuff together, because you've got Goonies, you've got the 4 outcast characters, we've got bullying as an 80s theme, but we've also got that love letter to D&D. Now, D&D doesn't appear that much in other narratives. Yes, you've recently had the Dungeons and Dragons movie, and you've had all that, but you've got a sort of gang of 4 friends, and you've got that going on, but you've also got the evolution of the sister character as she grows as a woman, and it's all about a lack of communication. Again, we're with the mobile phones. Where's Barbara gone? Well, you could always find out using her phone. Again, that's another reason to set it in the 80s. People could disappear a hell of a lot more easily in the 80s. So, what have we got going on? We've got the story, well, it all, halfway through you were thinking, right, either 11 is responsible for the whole in space-time dimensions, the upside down, the other dimension, all that business, the other world, or she's not. Now, obviously the logical solution is that she is, but you were thinking, are there lots of other stories? Where are the other 10 children if she's called number 11? Have they considered cloning? There's so much other stuff going on that could be dealt with in the next few seasons, or not. You just don't know, because this is 1980s technology. I believe the death count caused by 11 is quite high, but it's odd, because it's a 15, okay? Now, the thing that usually pushes something into an 18 is the death of a child, but the only character who really dies, who you're aware of, is your Barbaras. And then, of course, you've got Will, and you've got the dead body, and you've got... Now, also, I need to say, there are lots of standout performances. I'm not even going to go on about how good the kids are. They're just great, okay? That's it. You've just got it. The kids are great. They're about 11 at this point. It's brilliant. And in between making these 5 seasons, she's in shed loads of other stuff, okay? And you know what? They'll all hopefully go on to bigger and better things. They're going to cross that line into adult actor, at least get a few more roles, and it'll be just lovely for them. And good luck to them, I say. But from your adult acting, you've got Winona Ryder. Now, I was never a gigantic fan of Winona Ryder's acting. Okay, I'm going to put my hand up and say that right now. I was a big fan of Winona Ryder and in stuff she was in, and she was indeed a crush as I was growing up. Okay, that's just fine. It's standard. You know, I'm a massive Beetlejuice fan. Okay, but I always found the roles that she was offered didn't say a lot to me. But I was quite clearly wrong. She was as good an actor, going off what's going on here, as I ever saw in anything. You know, her performance was marvellous. She pulls through. She just nails it. Okay, she is absolutely superb. I think the casting choices would have been between her and Drew Barrymore, because you've got the 1980s classic actor who would have been in The Child at that point, but they're the two people you could have hired, and they both would have absolutely nailed this, except Drew Barrymore has really been flexing her comedy chops of late, and it might have detracted from that role. I just don't know. But if I was casting, they're the only two people I would have considered, and you know what, it just is great. But then you've got the sheriff. And by the time we reach the end and he gets into that police car at the end, I'm just shocked and stunned to see him still being the police chief a couple of scenes later. Are the people giving him a debrief or not? I just don't know. I can't figure it out. I'm guessing they are, because everybody else is dead and he's the only person who knows what's happening. Because everybody else is apparently dead. Now, we'll find out in the next scene, the next series when I watch them, because let's face it, I absolutely haven't done this yet. What's going on? My original plan of doing an episode at a time as a little Stranger Things little podcast would have been, you know, really nice and great, because I was that I was that age. I was that mid-80s 12, 13-year-old age, and I was playing Dungeons and Dragons. Obviously I was in the UK, but that was me. I was one of those kids, and I could identify with them, and it was brilliant. Admittedly, I spent a hell of a lot less time on my bike than they did, but that's fine. You need to learn more about the other kids' families, and I'm really hoping that kicks in the next 2 seasons as well. So yeah, did I enjoy it? Absolutely. Am I now worried about what happens in the other 4 seasons? Absolutely, because I'm now invested. Well, you know what? That's not a bad thing, is it? A series as good as people were making out? Who would have thought it? Right, I'm going to go now, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Until next time, be seeing you. That was the Tin Dog Podcast. All topics discussed are the intellectual property of the copyright owners. No infringement is intended. Why not follow the show on Blue Sky at tindogpodcast.bsky.social. If you've enjoyed this podcast on YouTube, please click like and subscribe. To contact the show, email tin-dog
tindog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.